Ja, we zijn live. Now, good evening, everybody. Today it is Monday. For a lot of people, it's the first day back at work after the holiday. So I thought you might need some inspiration. I'm Yvonne Dam of Amaze Yourself Coaching, and I help busy people like yourself to get more time, more energy to thoroughly enjoy life. And in order to enjoy life, it is crucial to have dreams and to follow your dreams. And that is why I'm quite stoked, because tonight I have a great guest here with me, Nick Turner. And I invited him because he really followed his dream. Nick, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us, what was your dream?
All right. Well, first let me tell a bit about myself. I'm Nick. I'm from Amsterdam. I'm 28, and I'm a writer. I write short fiction stories, which I publish on my website called turnerstories.com, on which I publish one short story every month, accompanied by an illustration. And recently I also started blogging about my writing journey, so to say. Because it has been a dream for quite a while, but it has taken me a long time to actually act upon that dream. But my stories can be described as a mix between the TV show Black Mirror. I don't know if any of you guys know it. And fairy. And I draw inspiration from many different types of stories, philosophy, human virtues and vices, especially technology. Myth, etc. And most of the stories are places where reality meets fantasy. So we go from magic trees to technology's gone bad, society's shaken up, time travel. It's actually quite fun to write. And these stories, they touch upon some issues we all have to deal with as human beings in society. They're, in my opinion, quite current issues also. And what I would like to do with these stories is hold a mirror to the reader, but also to myself, actually, to about these different subjects. What is it about, and what is the essence of being human, so to say. So to come back to your question, what was my dream?
Can I ask something? Because you're very excited and you talk with your hands, which I love. But I think if you do this, the whole camera goes up and down, and it feels like it sounds like an earthquake.
All right. Yeah.
Just so you know.
Under my legs for now. To come back to your first question, like, what is your dream, or what was your dream? Well, obvious up to now, it's that I wanted to become a writer. And it was actually already when I was about 5 years old that I wanted to become a writer. And I don't know if you remember from being young that you write in your friends' sort of diaries where you have to and stuff like that. And I always wrote down that when the question came up, what do you want to be when you grow up? That I wanted to become a writer.
Okay.
Also when I was younger, I was really enthusiastic about all sorts of stories, and kind of a book nerd also. I was always reading. And
we can see at the back.
Sorry?
We can see your small library at the back.
And actually I got it from my mom. I think like she's also really into stories. So ever since I was young, I always been reading and finding different stories wherever I could find them. And I also remember that I liked telling stories to my friends whenever I was at parties or when we had sleepovers, like when I was really young. But then when I grew older, it kind of slipped away. I kind of forgot thinking about that I wanted to become a writer, and kind of reality kicked in, and I went to high school. And then you suddenly have to think about your career path, like what you want to do when you grow up, and then you have to take it a bit more seriously, so to say. So then it kind of turned around for me, and I chose to do economics and business. And after I finished high school, yeah, I've forgotten more about the dream actually. But yeah, once I was studying for a couple of years and I was already in my master's, somehow it came back to me like I want to tell stories, and I probably have some stories to tell also. Um, so I started to write, yeah, some different novels, which I
Yeah.
quitted unfortunately because it was more of a practice and also something which was, yeah, just for me
Mm-hmm.
to try. Uh, yeah, so it didn't really work out at that point, like what I wanted to do um, in terms of writing, and also had a lot of insecurities about it.
Sure.
I let it go for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, about a year ago, I actually had an idea I was working on for a novel, which I was quite enthusiastic about, and like it all came back to me. Um, yeah, to write and to tell stories, and then I was reading more about different subjects and listening to podcasts. And then suddenly I had an idea of one story in particular, the first story I published on my blog, about a man who suddenly finds a money tree growing in his garden. And the man is very poor in the story. And what does the sudden fortune yeah, do with this person and with the people around them, around him? So it was a really fun idea to explore and to delve into. And yeah, but then at that point, I already only wrote it for myself and
Yeah.
on the blog yet, and there was no like really action besides the writing, which is basically the first action, the first step you have to take just to write. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in this case, and it really started for me when I finally had the courage to let someone else read what I've written.
Yeah, sure.
It was really exciting and frightening at the same time. And it was actually my cousin is also, yeah, we discuss a lot of books together whenever we're reading. And I told her that I just finished my first story, and you know, she was anxious to read it. And I did make the mistake of letting her read it while I was in the same room, which was excruciating. But uh, it was fine in the end, and she loved it. And also, like you can tell whenever you're speaking to someone if it's sincere or not, and
Yeah,
especially
sure.
with family. And I noticed that like she really liked it at that point. Um, yeah, so I decided to let it, yeah, let other people read the story as well. And suddenly I got like really great responses to the story, and kind of had a bit of more confidence to pursue it and to see
Mm-hmm.
where it might head to. So yeah, then I kind of made the decision like I'm gonna try to do this for I don't know, maybe 2 years or more, see where it goes. Um, Luckily, like I had a different career path up to this
Mm-hmm.
point, but I learned a lot during that time, of course. So I can kind of combine the business part. I'm really into online marketing, but also setting up websites. So that kind of together with writing the stories, yeah, made the idea of turnerstories.com happen.
Yeah, because
Um,
Nick, I mean, so your dream was to become a writer. You're a writer now. It kind of started off with that first story about the money tree, which you really enjoyed, and then you got great feedback. But it's not your full-time job, is it?
no, no. So that's yeah, that's also the thing. I would love to make it my full job at one point, but I'm
Sure.
really happy with what I'm doing right now as well. And um, but it kind of complements each other in a way because I initially wanted to write, and now in the combination with my regular job, I find more of a great, yeah, creativity outlet with the writing, which
Mm-hmm.
perfectly complements with what I'm doing besides that. And yeah, um, so yeah, what I did kind of is, yeah, make a plan how to do it next to my job. And that's also, yeah, a tip for people whenever you want to pursue something you really want to do or maybe a bit scared of, or yeah, you just don't want to quit your secure job or any
Yeah,
of the
that's what you
securities you
did.
have at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it in your spare time. And yeah, people are extremely busy, of course, and you have a lot of friends you want to see and family. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you can always carve out some time. But what I started out with was getting up 30 minutes earlier, not every day, but whenever I could, to write, and maybe just 400-500 words a day. It was enough to start with. And then slowly, because I was so excited about the writing process and also the ideas I had to develop the website. I started doing more in the evenings and in the weekends, and it kind of became, a side project. And now that side project costs me 10 to 20 hours a week, but I thoroughly enjoy it to do.
Yeah.
So, and I have more ideas for the future, and dreams also with this side. But yeah, I think you can definitely do stuff like this on the side, and as long as you carve out time, you can even schedule it in your calendar, like maybe every morning from 7 to 7:30 you write, or you paint, or whatever you would like to
Whatever you're
pursue.
dreaming.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, after go back a bit to the publishing of the first story. First, I developed the ideas of the website, and then last September I launched the website.
Yeah.
And then I published The Money Tree together with an illustration. And then it was really time to attract an audience, readers, people who would like to read my stories. And with no budget, I try to think of different ways how to attract readers. And what I did is, like, every story, as I told you, has a particular subject which is quite current, an issue in society, or something that has to do with developments towards the future. So there are always other blogs who write about these issues. And usually these blogs write nonfiction content. And I write fiction, but with a similar subject. So what I did was send out a lot of emails to different blogs and writers and influencers, just to try and see if there was a connection, and if they could see the point I was making, if it really complemented their message as well. And up to this point, I've managed to get some few very cool collaborations already.
Oh, really?
Resulted in actually a lot of visitors, and not only from the Netherlands, but most of them really from the US or UK, and people in Asia. Yeah, it's really great to see.
That's exciting, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
In preparation of this interview, I read your latest story about a refugee family and Christmas. Yeah. And well, I must admit, it brought me to tears. I was very touched by it. Oh. Yeah. Well, I also must admit, my husband calls me a woos, but that beside, I really was brought to tears. So, and I liked it because I think it's it's a bit of a combination of I think every child or every parent recognizes the Christmas spirit in it, but it's also, it literally could happen next door, isn't it? And it's a very topical subject, I would say, and I think so I was touched by it. I liked it a lot. Yeah. So, and there's some exciting news, right? So you said I liked your tip about you don't quit your day job, just do it besides. You could do a lot in 30 minutes. You've proven that it works quite well. You've set up collaborations as well, but you've got some more exciting news. I know that we spoke last year, and then you said, well, there's something great coming up, and you succeeded with that. Can you share more? Because I think, well, to me, that's quite an achievement as well.
The idea that I provide the stories on my website for free, and as many people as possible to read it, of course. And the next dream is to support myself with writing and do it full time. So to start with, I collected some of the first short stories I've written and made it into an ebook, and I published it through Amazon Publishing. Which you can easily self-publish any book you'd like. So it's available in the store right now. I think not only in the US, but in the UK, in Holland, everywhere. And it's a collection of the first 4 stories. You can read it on your e-reader, or if you have the Kindle app, you can read it on your phone or on your tablet. So yeah, that's
You're on sale already.
on sale already. Yeah, just before Christmas, I put it online.
Cool.
Yeah.
And but basically, the best place to check out more and even about the Amazon deal, you go to your website. I've put it online now, turnerstories.com, where you also can find more about the illustration, because they are quite rare. I like the one with the Maasai. I thought that was quite interesting one. That's a friend of yours, right, who makes those?
Friend of mine, he's an artist, and yeah, we collaborated on this project together, and every time I'm really excited to see what he's come up with. Because he is really one of the first people to really interpret my story in a certain way, and then has to depict it in sketches, and then together we find like the most suitable sketch, and he makes it into a piece of art. It's really great.
I was quite amazed, because in all fairness, they can make or break your story, right? If it's something you can't relate to, or doesn't reflect what you're trying to say, it kind of breaks the story. But I thought they were quite amazing as well. It's quite it brings a certain atmosphere, I think, to the story and to the whole site.
Yeah, it's really your first impression, and also I think a decision point for people if they are gonna continue reading, because they're short stories, but you have to invest like at least 15 minutes to actually go through the story. And when you see the picture, you have already some ideas in your head about what the story is about, and that's what I thought is the fun part. Like, you have an idea, and then you start reading it, and then it could be something completely different, or that's what I think is the cool thing about adding the illustrations.
Excellent. And then I've got one final question. You also told me that you want to inspire, like you're doing today, other people who want to start writing as well.
What I've done last month, I put on the first blog about my own writing process, so how it all started, a bit what I've told during this interview already. The first story, and like putting your work in front of others, and making a plan of what you want to do with your writing, what you want to achieve. And then I started blogging a month ago, but that story is basically set a year ago. So I've got a year worth of experiences and things I've stumbled upon, things that worked, things that didn't work. That I would really like to share for people if they also want to write and do something with their ideas.
Right. So if you're an aspiring writer, you should definitely check out your website, not only because you share great content, because also you tell people what the best way, or for you, what works to become a writer and where are you today.
So it's basically the journey I've walked, so to say, and the tips and tools I used. But I can imagine like everyone has a different process, but this at least worked for me. And also, like, I'm not there where I want to be yet, but the process so far has been great, and people can follow it if they want, and also see where it goes.
Can you subscribe to your website so you get updated when you post a new story?
I have a newsletter, and I post a newsletter almost once a month at least when the story comes out, and also when the blog comes out. And if you scroll down on the website, you'll find the box where you can subscribe, and usually also there's a pop-up for to subscribe to the newsletter.
Okay, excellent. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I've said quite a lot.
Right?
But, just to summarize, in terms of going for your dream, make some time besides your day job, and first let others see or read it or tell them about it, just to test and verify your idea, and then go from there.
Yeah, bounce your idea off. Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. Thanks so much for sharing. I really love the story. I loved your story, and I love the stories you write. So check out the website of Nick. I think it's worth it, and subscribe to his newsletter. He also's got an ebook, so there's loads to explore, but I'll stop making advertisement for you. I think people have to go for themselves and just check it out. The reason why I started this series of interviews of following your dream like Nick did and make it a success is because I believe everybody, including you, if you're watching this, can make your dream come true. And it's actually part of the reason why I started my coaching business, because I want to help people to follow their dreams. And I'm hosting a webinar which highlights 6 steps to follow your dream and to start living your dream life. So I will post my email address so you can email me if you're keen on following. There's a Dutch version and an English version, and they're coming up in 2 weeks' time. So hope to see you there. Nick, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll follow you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.